Hello everyone, this is the fourth lecture in the lecture series of matrices, and so far we have seen the addition, subtraction and multiplication of matrices together. Today we will see something sort of a division of a matrix. It's not exactly a division, but it is called as the inverse of a matrix. Now what's the inverse of a matrix is that if we have matrix A and if we observe that after multiplying matrix B with matrix A, either we can multiply B after matrix A, this is called as a post multiplication, or we can do it this way. This is pre-multiplication. Since in the matrices AB and BA may not be equal, that is why we have a concept of post multiplication, that is after the particular matrix, or pre-multiplication, that is before. If we observe that I multiply matrix B to A post multiplication or pre-multiplication, both become equal, and the resultant that I get, the final answer that I get is matrix I, that is identity matrix. Then in that case we say that B is an inverse of A, or vice versa, that is A is an inverse of matrix B. Now very important thing to note here is only square matrices will have inverse, rectangular matrices will not have any inverse. Hence the order of A, B and I, they are all same. The way we denote inverse is, suppose if we have matrix A, then inverse of A is denoted as A raised to minus 1. This is the denotation that we use. So in this case here, B is actually A inverse. There are two theorems in the inverse of matrix concept. First is that the inverse of a matrix is always unique if it exists. That means if we have matrix A, if the inverse exists, then it will be unique. No matter which method you follow, you will always get the same inverse of that matrix. The second theorem says that if we have A into B matrix, that is, I take two matrices, multiply them, and whatever matrix I get, if I take the inverse of that matrix, it will be same as B inverse into A inverse. From the previous lecture, you will be familiar with this same particular concept. We had seen it in the transpose of matrices. The same applies here. A into B inverse is B inverse into A inverse. We'll now understand how to find the inverse of a matrix. So the method that we'll be following is elementary transformation or elementary operations. In this case, basically we have three different rules which will apply to the rows and columns. The first rule is that we can interchange any row with another row, or similarly we can interchange any two columns of a matrix. So for example, if I have column 1 and column 2, I can interchange them, or I have row 1 and row 3, I can interchange them. This is the first method, or this is the first operation that we can perform. The way this particular operation is written is, if I want to interchange row 1 with row 3, we will write it in this particular fashion. I'll show you this with an example. We'll take the case of this particular matrix and we will perform this operation on this matrix. Once that operation is performed, what will happen is row 1 and row 3 will get interchanged. So third row will come here in the position of the first row, and first row will go in the position of third row. Please make a note that row 2 has not changed, only first and third row has been interchanged. Now if I perform this similar operation on columns, if I perform C1 is interchanged with C2, then in that case the first and second column will interchange their positions. So the third column will remain as it is. The second operation that we can perform is multiplication of any row or column with a scalar value. That means what I can do here is I can change row R1 as 2 times R1. That is, after performing this elementary operation on matrix A will become like this. The first row each element of first row will be multiplied by this particular scalar, that is 2. Whereas the rest of the matrix will remain the same. It will not be changed. In general, the way I can write it is Ri is equal to K times Ri. That is, any row can be multiplied with K and that particular row will be altered. This same operation can be performed on columns as well, where I'll take a column whichever C1, C2, C3, C4 depending on how big the matrix is. I can multiply any scalar which is non-zero, it should have some value, and Ci, that is the same column. Remember, this K can be positive, negative, it can be a fraction, it cannot be zero. Here what we will do now is, I will multiply second column with maybe 3. So the first column will remain same. The second column will be multiplied by 3. So this will become 6. This will become 15. This will become 24. And the third column will again remain the same. It will not be changed. The third elementary operation is, we can multiply any row with a scalar and then add it to some other row. Same can be done with a column. I will show you this with an example. What I will do is, I will take R1. R1 will be altered in such a way that R1 plus 2 times R2. So each element of R1 will be added to 2 times the corresponding element of R2. So I will show you here. First element is 1 plus 2 times 4. This is my first element. The second element will be 2, that is R1 plus 2 times 5, and the third will be 3 plus 2 times 6. Rest of the matrix will be unchanged. So the matrix will look like this. These 2 rows will not change, so I'll write them down first. The first row will be 7, 12 and 15. Same can be performed with column. So what I'll do is, I will change second column in this way. Here the value of K is minus 3. So minus 3 times C1 has come. So the matrix will be, the second column we are changing, so the first column will remain same. Second will be C2. So it is 2 minus 3 times 1. This element will be 5 minus 3 times 4. And the third will be 8 minus 3 times C1 is 7. This is my column 2, which has been altered as per this criteria. And now the third column will remain as it is. So the final answer will be 1, 4, 7 as it is. This will be 2 minus 3, so minus 1. This will be minus 7. This will be minus 13. And the last column will be 3, 6 and 9. Now we have seen how the elementary transformation or elementary operations are performed on a matrix. So to get the inverse of matrix A, we know there are 2 ways how we can do it. Either we can use row transformation or we can use column transformation. We also know that A into A inverse or A inverse into A both will give me identity matrix. This is also one fundamental concept. Now to use row transformation, what we will do is write matrix A is equal to I into A. Further, what we will do is, we will not alter anything about this A. This matrix A will remain as it is. Our target will be to use row transformation. Since we are following row transformation here, we will do row transformation to achieve and make this A equal to I. Meaning, we will convert this matrix A into an identity matrix. When we do that, I alongside will become A inverse, and this A we have not changed, so it will remain as A only. When we solve problems on this, it will be pretty much clear. This is just a concept that I am explaining you. When we are doing column transformation, we will write the expression as A is equal to A into I. Here, we will not change anything about this A. We will use column transformation. Since we are following column now, we will use and conduct column transformation. Those operations we will perform and convert this A eventually into I. Hence, the right hand side will be becoming in this way. This A is as it is. It has not changed. It is just come all the way during the operations. What has happened is this has been converted into A inverse. Now, seeing this concept part, it might be slightly tricky, but when we are solving problems, this concept will get cleared. Only thing that you have to remember is, for row transformation, I will come first and A will come later. For column transformation, I will come later. As I have been always telling you to remember RC, that is R first and column second. So I will come here first since it is row, and here it will come second because it is using column transformation. We will solve one problem and understand. When we are finding the inverse of a matrix, there is a sequence that we need to follow, and this sequence depends whether you are solving using row transformation or we are solving using column transformation. Make sure you don't mix both the methods in one particular problem. Once you select, if you want to do by row, you have to do by row transformation. If you select to do by column transformation, you have to continue till the end of the problem. You cannot mix both in the same problem, and that will not give you the outcome. So we'll see the sequence that has to be followed when we are doing either of the cases.
So here is a 3 by 3 matrix A. We have to find the inverse of this matrix by using elementary transformations. Here I will be using row transformation. As you can see, the equation that I have written here, this is for row transformation where I comes before A. To convert A into 1, we will either use D and G to make it 1, or we will divide the entire row by A, thereby making it 1. Once this A is converted into 1, I will use this one to convert D and G into zeros. Now this first column is completed. Next I will turn on to this. I need 1 here. So what I will do is, either I will use this B and H to make it 1, or I will divide the second row by E, thereby making it 1. So once this is 1, I will use this to convert B and H into zeros. Once that is complete, these two columns are completed. Now I'll divide the entire third row by I. Once I do that, this will become 1. Once this becomes 1, I'll use it to make C and F zeros. So now this A matrix has been completely converted into identity matrix. So on the right hand side, whatever identity matrix was there has now been converted into A inverse. Now this procedure that I have shown you is for a 3 by 3 matrix. For a 2 by 2 matrix, the procedure will remain the same. Only thing is, it will get completed in a less number of steps.
Now we will do the same operation by using column transformation. That is, we will find the inverse of A by using column transformation. The expression that I have written, A is equal to A into I, this applies for column transformation. And we will convert this A again into identity matrix as we have done just now for row transformation. So first step will be to convert A into 1. This we will do either by using B or C, or we will divide the entire first column by A, either way. Once we have done that, A will be equal to 1. Further, we will make B and C equal to 0 by using this 1. The next step will be to convert this E into 1. So either we will divide the second column by E, or we will use D and F to convert E into 1. Once E has become 1, we will use this to convert D and F into zeros. And now finally, I'll have to convert I into 1 either by dividing the third column by I. Once that is done, I will use this one to convert G and H into zeros. Once this entire matrix A is converted into an identity matrix, the identity matrix on the right hand side, which was there, has now been converted into A inverse. For a 2 by 2 matrix, the procedure will remain the same, but only thing is it will get completed in less number of steps. We'll solve this problem first initially by doing row transformation. So the way I will write it is A is equal to I into A. That is 2, 1, 1, 1 is equal to 1, 0, 0, 1. This I is always of the same order as that of A, because since the multiplication has to be carried out, it has to be of the same order. Now, as per the animations that we saw just now, as per the sequence that we have seen just now, the target is to make this as 1 using row transformation. So what I will do is R1 is R1 minus R2. If I do 2 minus 1, it will become 1. So the entire first row I am changing this way. 2 minus 1, R1 minus R2. So 2 minus 1, 1, 1 minus 1, 0. R2 will remain as it is equal to, the same will apply to this identity matrix. So R1 minus R2, 1 minus 0, 1, 0 minus 1, minus 1. This will remain as it is, A will remain as it is. Now this element has become 1. My next target is to make this as 0. So I will do R2 as R2 minus R1. So 1 minus 1 will become 0. I am not paying attention to what is happening in this particular area because this is the sequence that we have to follow. R2 minus R1, so 1 minus 1, 0. This row 1 will remain as it is. I am just changing R2. 1 minus 1, 0. 1 minus 0, 1. This is equal to, first row will remain as it is because I am not changing it. R2 will become 0 minus 1 minus 1. 1 minus of minus 1 is 2 into A. Now this has become an identity matrix. Look here, I am multiplying this matrix with A and I am getting an identity matrix. That means this has to be A inverse. That is the reason I am getting I here. So the A inverse is this matrix. Now we will do the same problem using column transformation. For column transformation, I will write A into I, write down the matrix. The target is to make this as 1. So I can do 2 minus 1. Remember, you can always divide the first column by 2. But that will give me a fraction here. So I am not doing it. What I will do is C1 as C1 minus C2. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. Second column as it is. Here 1 minus 0 is 1, 0 minus 1 is minus 1, and second column is as it is. The next target is to make this 0 now. Since we are following column transformation, the next target is to make this 0. How I can do it? Pretty simple. C2 is C2 minus C1. I'll do this minus this, so it will become a 0. First column as it is. 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. This is equal to A times first column as it is. 0 minus 1 is minus 1. 1 minus of minus 1 is 2. Since this is an identity matrix, I am getting A into some other matrix as identity matrix. Hence, this matrix has to be A inverse. So we get A inverse is equal to 1 minus 1 minus 1 and 2. Observe here, this is the A inverse we got using row transformation. This is the A inverse that we got using column transformation, and both are same. This was a theorem that we saw that inverse of a matrix, if it exists, then it is unique. That is, it's the same. No matter what method you follow, the inverse of a matrix will remain the same. So the concept that we have used here, another concept is when I multiply two matrices and I get an identity matrix, then the two matrices are inverse of each other. That means this is the inverse of matrix A and this is the inverse of this matrix. Both are inverse of each other. If I write A inverse as B, that is this, then B is the inverse of A and A is the inverse of B. In this next problem, we have matrix B here and we have to find inverse. First, I will follow the row transformation and then I will solve using column transformation. So for row transformation, I have written B is equal to I into B as per the procedure. This is B is equal to I into B will remain here. This B I will not be expanding because it will remain the same throughout the expression. So going here, the method is this has to be 1. It is already 1 in this problem, so I did not worry. The next step that is I have to follow is make this as 0 using this 1. What I'll do is R2 is R2 minus 2 times R1. Why I have taken this step is because the value of this is 2 and this is 1 here. So if I multiply this with minus 2 and add it, what will happen is it will become 0. So I have taken R2 minus 2 times R1. Once I perform that, the first row will remain as it is 1 and minus 1. The second row will become 2 R2 minus 2 times R1. So it will become 0. This will become 3 minus 2 times that will be 5 is equal to, here first row will remain the same. Here it will be 0 minus 2 times 1. So minus 2. 1 minus 2 times 0. So will be 1 into B. So now this is 1. This is 0. I have to make this as 1 now. So to make it 1 now, what I will do is directly I will divide it by 5. So second row I will do as R2 divided by 5. First row will remain as it is. Second row will become like this. Because 0 upon 5 is 0, 5 upon 5 is 1. On the right hand side it will become 1, 0. This will become minus 2 upon 5. This will become 1 upon 5. Because I have divided the second row by 5. So now this has become 1 now. The target is to make this as 0. What I will do is, if I add them both, they will become 0. So I will take R1. I will do R1 plus R2. It is very important that you follow the sequence while solving this particular. That is to make this 1 first, then make this 0 using this 1, then make this 1, make this 0 using this 1. So R1 plus R2, 1 plus 0 will become 1, minus 1 plus 1 will become 0. I am not changing R2, so it will remain as it is equal to, here R1 is R1 plus R2, so 1 minus 2 by 5 will become 3 by 5. This plus this will become 1 by 5. Row 2 will remain as it is. Hence, this is the inverse of this matrix B. Now we will solve using column transformation. Here the procedure is make this 1, make this 0, make this 1 and make this 0. This is the sequence that we will follow. First step is already done. This is already 1. So now what I'll do is make this 0. To make this 0 using this, if I add them directly, it will become 0. So my first step will be column 2 is column 2 plus column 1. First column does not change. Second column will become minus 1 plus 1, 0. 3 plus 2 is 5. Here B will remain as it is. This will be 1, 1. Column 2 plus column 1. Now my procedure is this 1 and 0 is done. Now this has to be 1. So what I'll do is I will multiply column 2 by 1 upon 5, or I will divide column 2 by 5, whatever, both are same thing. So the first column will not change. Second column will become like this, is equal to B times. Here the first column will remain as it is. The second column will become 1 upon 5 and 1 upon 5. Now my final step is to make this 0. C1 is C1 minus 2 times C2. Why minus 2? So that this will become 0. 2 minus 2 times 1, which is minus 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. First column will be 1 minus 2 times 0. This will remain as 1. 2 minus 2 times 1, 0. Second column as it is equal to B times. Here 1 minus 2 by 5 will become 3 by 5, and 0 minus 2 by 5 will become minus 2 by 5, and column 2 will remain as it is because we are not changing it. Since this has become identity matrix, the method will stop here. We have already obtained the inverse of a matrix, and if you observe it with the one we had got using row transformation, they both are same. This is how you will find the inverse of a matrix using elementary transformation or elementary operations. While performing any of this elementary row or column transformation, if any of the row or any of the column gets all 0 elements, then in that case the inverse of that particular matrix does not exist. That means when I'm doing column transformation, if during any of the operation, if any one column becomes 0, 0, then in that case the operation will stop over there and you will say that the inverse of the matrix does not exist. And during row transformation, while performing the operation, if any of the row becomes 0, 0, that is both are zeros, then in that case you will mention that the inverse of the matrix of the given matrix does not exist. It can happen in such a way. Now we'll try and find out the inverse of this matrix using row transformation. The first step is to make this one, so I will do R1 as R1 minus R2, 2 minus 1, 1, 6 minus 3 is 3. This is as it is equal to 1 minus 0, 1, 1, 0 minus 1, minus 1. See, next target is to make this 0. So what I will do is R2 minus R1, this minus this. So first row will remain as it is. It will be 1 minus 1, 0, 3 minus 3, 0. The moment you get this particular result, the inverse of the matrix does not exist. Let's try to find out using column transformation now. So the first step is to make this as 1. What I will do is first column C1 upon 2. I will divide the first column by 2. So this will be 1. Here it will be half. Second column as it is. Here half. 0 upon 2 is 0. Second column as it is. Now I have to make this as 0. So what I will do is second column is equal to C2 minus 6 times C1. 6 minus 6 times 1 will get me 0. First column as it is. Second column is 6 minus 6, 0. This will be 3 minus 6 times half will be minus 3. 3 minus 3 will be 0. The moment I get all zeros in any of the column, the procedure will stop there and we will conclude that inverse of the metric does not exist. Just now we have seen two problems on 2 by 2 matrix. Now we will see a similar problem on a 3 by 3 matrix. That is, we have to find A inverse. Now you are free to choose whether you want to do by row transformation or column transformation. Now I will be doing by row transformation. So like we have seen in the animation before or the sequence before that, we have to make, for row transformation, we have to make this as 1, followed by this 0, this 0. Next will be this as 1, then this and this 0. And the last step will be to make this 1 and this as 0. Now we are following row transformation. So A will be equal to I into A. So I will come first. So this is A is equal to I into A. To make this 1, what I do is divide the entire row, row 1 by 2. So first this I have made as 1. Now I will make this 0. To make this 0, what I will do is R2 will be R2 minus 5 times R1. So now we have obtained this matrix. Over here there is 1 which is already come. Now we have to make this and this 0. Again the 0 has come already here over here. So we have to convert this into 0 using this 1. So what I'll do is R3 is R3 minus R2. So 1 minus 1, it will make it 0. I'll write the next step over here. And R3 will become into A. Once we have obtained this matrix, now this 1 and this 0 have been obtained. So we are finished with these two parts. Now the target is to make this as 1. To make it 1, I will multiply row 3 with 2. So when I multiply R3 with 2, R1 will be 1, 0 and minus half. And the right hand side will be now the last step that is left is to make this and this both 0. I will carry out these two steps in one step only. R1 I will make as R1 plus half times R3, so it will make it 0. And for R2, I will make as R2 minus 5 by 2 times R3. So they get cancelled and I get 0 and 0 over here. So I'll carry out this step. The left hand side will be 1, 0, 0. This will be 0 now. For R2, it will be 0, 1 and this will become 0 now. R3 remains as it is. Now coming towards the right hand side, the first column will be half plus 5 by 2 because half times R3, so this will be 5 by 2 and half plus 5 by 2 will be 6 by 2 which will be 3. Here it will be 0 plus half times minus 2, so it will be minus 1 and here it will be 0 plus half times 2, so it will be plus 1. This is row 1. Row 2 will be minus 5 by 2. Now this particular calculation part could be tricky. So what you can do is use the rough work. So I'll show you how it has to be done. R2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 times. 5 by 2 will be 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 by 2. 5 by 2 will be minus 5 minus 5 by 2 times R3. So R3 is 5. So this is minus 5 by 2 minus 25 by 2, which will be minus 30 upon 2. That will give me minus 15. Next part will be 1 minus of minus, so it will be plus 5. So it will become 6. And here it will be 0 minus 5 by 2 into 2 will be minus 5. And row 3 we are not changing anything, so it will remain as it is. Now if you observe, here we have got an identity matrix. That means this matrix into A is identity matrix. It means that this is the inverse of A. Now while solving this problem, we have used row transformation as the technique. The same inverse can be calculated by using column transformation. However, after using any of these methods, you should be getting the same inverse of the matrix. So as homework, I want you to solve this using column transformation matrix. Make sure you are getting the same inverse for the matrix.